Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the Midday News. We're live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, it's on Love 99.5 FM and over 30 affiliates across Ghana's 16 regions, including Dreams FM in Boga, Tanga, Sun City Radio in Keta, Volta Premier in Ho, Radio Max in Takrady, and ATL FM in Cape Coast, Go Digital on Spotify and myjoyonline.com app. In this edition, Meteorological Agency detects 2 heavy storms heading for the country. Already hit some parts with strong winds likely to have damaging effect on weak buildings and loose tree branches.
The winds will be strong. They will be full of thunder and lightning. So we are advising that everybody should be cautious. Don't hide under trees. If your buildings are weak, kindly amend it. Call the carpenter to come and check it.
We'll hear from the Meteorological Agency on this. Ghana Education Service calls for police investigations into allegations some of its top officials and staff at the Education Ministry are extorting money from parents to place their children in certain schools.
We are very, very serious about it because fingers are pointing to senior people within the ministry as well as the Ghana Education Service. My Director General actually wrote to the Ghana Police Service, to IGP.
Government is meanwhile concerned about slow pace of infrastructural projects as heads of school demand action.
It is not a situation we are happy about. What we are interested in is whoever will complete it and within the period and to the quality that we have planned.
Also this afternoon, Burkina Faso's ex-president Kampuari sentenced to life in prison over Thomas Sankara's murder. We have details of that in sports.
Get players eligible to switch nationality to play for the Black Stars at the FIFA World Cup. Assistant coach George Boateng tells Ghana Football Association.
And much later, police about hitmaker Nanansia PSA passes on.
We are asking and pleading that you consider.
I have that and more in this edition of the Midday News with me, Emefa. Apawu, please stay for details. This is your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Wherever you are, you may be experiencing that storm that has already hit parts of the country because the Meteorological Agency says it's detected 2 of these heavy storms heading for the country, one from the east and other from the north. The Meteorological Agency says it will be accompanied by strong winds with damaging effects on weak buildings and loose tree branches. In the south, lightning and flash floods are expected. Let's speak live now to the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting Office at the Ghana Meteorological Agency, Felicity Ahafianyo. We're grateful for your time here on the Midday News. Let's talk about these storms.
Thank you. The storms are rainstorms that normally affect us around this time, from March to May. Then from May ending to the part of August, we don't have the normal rains without the lightning or the damaging effect. So from now, as it has started over the coastal strip, we are anticipating thunderstorms that will have a lightning and thunder sound and likely to have reduced visibility and then have damaging winds that are likely to affect weak structures, dead branches on trees. So we are advising that if you know your buildings are weak, you need to do something about it. If you are at a low-lying areas too, you better have to try getting the sandbags and then try to relocate to a safer place.
Well, but it appears that this warning is a little bit too late, isn't it? Because already we are told that certain parts of the country are already witnessing, the ravaging effects of this storm already.
I would say it's not late because in our weekly forecast that we released on Monday, we indicated that there will be rain today. But then we didn't get the publicity, but we are trying our best to see how best we can start putting it into the public domain so that we can prepare ourselves ahead of time. In the morning forecast, so it was there that a storm, thunderstorm is expected. But then the general public is anticipating to see it in a warning form before they can take a decision. So we are trying our best to see how we can rectify that challenge, and then we move on.
Well, these two storms, are they hitting at different times, and what category are they in?
Thank you very much. Yeah, they are hitting at different times. Over the north, it has hit them already, and it's exiting into Cote d'Ivoire and then parts of Mali. But then the southern sector has hit us already. We are Greater Accra is in it. Those in Apawu through to Ghana East, they are already in it, and then it's going to move into Central and then later to Western region. Then in the late afternoon, it's going to produce other pop-ups or localized systems over the Ashanti, Eastern, Bono, and its environs. So they will have this from around 2, 3, 4 p.m. thereabouts. But then the north, upper east, upper west, they are already exiting out of it. Greater Accra, hopefully by 4 thereabouts, will also exit from it. Central and then Western region will also get their share.
And how serious is it? What are we to expect exactly, you'd say?
Yes, as we said earlier on, it will be accompanied by strong winds. The edge, as it's coming, approaching, the strong winds will come. It's normally the downdraft that comes out of the storm. So those of us around East Legon, we have witnessed it. Those that are yet to, they should also expect the wind. Normally the wind will come and then the rain will come. And then the cloudiness will continue mostly for the rest of the day.
Well, those listening, many of them may be driving, others are at work and so on. What exactly will be the advice you give them at this moment?
Yes, if you are driving on a rainy day, it is advisable to drive at a very reduced speed, if possible, between 20 to 30 kilometers per hour. And then those of us that have trees at our backyards or on the streets, we should try as much as possible to prune the dead branches out from it. And then every morning, let's try and get the forecast before we set out to our various places. School is still in session, so our children will also be in school. So it will be good as parents to get the forecast in the morning and then know what it will be. And then we can equally advise our school mistresses so that they can know how to handle our children at school. And then those of us that are at low-lying areas, this is the time that we should have sandbags, start packing them down so that as the ground gets saturated and the floods start coming, they can use it. And then the other aspect too has to do with you, the media, that as you are doing this afternoon, we pray that from henceforth, early morning, you can call us and we give them the day's forecast through your media.
Many thanks for your company, Felicity Ahafianyo. There, she's the head of Central Analysis and Forecasting Office at the Ghana Meteorological Agency. There, you ought to stay safe wherever you are. But let's stay on weather-related stories, because in the Western region, more than 400 residents of Anglo Beach, a community in the Shama district, have been displaced by tidal waves. Anglo Beach, for several years now, has been bearing the brunt of tidal waves, as over 90% of households in the community have been washed away by the sea. Here's a report by Western Regional Correspondent in Natalia Kwanza.
This is not the first time Anglo Beach has been hit by a destructive tidal wave. The situation has become an annual ritual whereby households and properties are often destroyed by tidal waves. The community, which lies in between the Pra River and the sea, now has about 90% of households swept into the sea, making the occupants homeless. The affected residents were spotted either counting their losses or carrying the few items they could salvage into their new place of abode. District Chief Executive for Shama, Ebenezer Dazi, together with some members of the District Security Council, were in the community to assess the situation.
If you look at how people have been displaced, I mean, it's very bad. And so we spoke to them and we gave them the assurance that something is going to be done. That is to move them permanently to the resettlement area. That's what we've agreed on. They themselves have agreed.
Assembly member for Anglo Beach, Samuel Bolu, bemoaned the fact that over 90 households in the once beautiful community have been washed away.
The tidal wave was so high, said that it washes away so many houses around the coast. And then today, as we see here, the NADMO boss himself came from Accra, brought some items, some relief items to the community, and then the DC and the MP has also assured the community that they will be moving to a new site. So, I mean, you could see that the community is so much happy. For the last 3 days, we have lost about 30.
Natalia Kwanza with that report. Now, the Ghana Education Service says it has formally requested police investigations into allegations that its top officials and staff of the Ministry of Education are extorting money from students placed them in senior high schools. The computerized school selection placement system has this year been fraught with some challenges despite assurances from GES that it has successfully placed almost 90% of students who took the exams. Hannah Odame in the following report captures some of the concerns so far.
We write everything that they say we should done. We done it, but since yet we don't see anything.
Frustrated parents whose trips to the Nat Hall, where grievances of parents and wards are being addressed, is yet to get positive response from authorities there. He's not the only one.
My daughter hasn't get a school, so I'm coming for school for her.
This father is not only concerned about securing a senior high school for his daughter. He now has to also deal with how she's coping with the situation.
My daughter is swollen. It nearly take a drug, killing herself.
Other varied concerns were raised by parents.
When the placement came, we saw that she was put at grade D school. But meanwhile, she had at grade 19.
Oh yeah, Bema, Oman, girls school of Elembele.
In all cases, the parents and their wards were told to leave their details and will be contacted by officials. But they say that does not happen.
I came here last week and I brought the paper there. They didn't call us. That's why I came here again.
Some coordinators at the venue explained why.
We tried calling them. Most of them were not going through. Others too, it will go through, but they will not pick up. Sometimes you need to look at the grades that they will come, say they want transfer to the category A schools and the rest. So it's a challenge that we've been dealing with.
Despite the struggle to get schools, the Director General of the Ghana Education Service, Professor Kwesi Opoku-Amankwa, says it has placed over 80% of students in various second cycle institutions so far.
We expect that we will continue to have issues, and it is just because we don't have enough space in each school that people subscribe a lot.
Rector of the Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, Professor Philip Ebubonsi Simpson, however, thinks a total review of the placement system is needed to avoid future occurrences.
The school authorities should be allowed to admit their own students. And who said when computer admits them, they are necessarily admitting geniuses?
Hannah Odame with that report. Now, the Ghana Education Service says it has received a report of extortion and requested police investigations. Dr. Kobna Bempatando is Deputy GES Director General in charge of Quality and Access.
We want to assure the public that as Ghana Education Service, as the Ministry of Education, we are really, really focused on ensuring that there is a transition from junior high school to senior high school for all students who are eligible to transition. So we do recognize, just like Kojo said, that this will be an annual issue. We have also, however, seen that over the years, the challenges are going down. There are new ones that are coming. And right off the bat, I know that it is one of the things that we have talked about, is the idea of corruption, that people are charging monies. And this year, we are very, very serious about it because fingers are pointing to senior people within the ministry as well as the Ghana Education Service. I can tell you on authority that yesterday, my Director General actually wrote to the Ghana Police Service, to IGP. He also wrote officially to NIB, former BNI, for independent investigations into some of these claims. I would also encourage the general public. Free senior high school means free. I know that because of desperation and the fact that people are set on certain schools, sometimes they let their desperations allow them to be duped.
Well, we know that students, and many of them, have successfully been placed at senior high schools across the country and are going through registration processes on various campuses ahead of the commencement of academic work. Well, some senior high schools in the Ashanti region, for instance, are requesting expansion of classroom and accommodation facilities. Nanaya Ojiba is on this beat for us. Here's his report.
T.I. Ahmedia Senior High School, Kumasi, received 1,529 fresh students. Love News checks on the campus showed some desks in classrooms had been replaced with plastic chairs, a situation that may affect academic activities. School officials will not corroborate this observation, but say appropriate measures are being adopted to ensure the smooth running of the institution. Benjamin Chi Ampedu is assistant headmaster in charge of academics.
The school is ready, fully. Talking about food situation in the dining hall. Food supply has been coming. We are not short of food, so the students are going to be fed. Parents shouldn't be worried about feeding at all. Then classroom to tomorrow morning, all the students will be taken to their classroom. Today, unfortunately, my section of the Form 1 students reported, and we have given them a place to stay. Tomorrow, fully, we shall take them to their classrooms, and classroom work will start.
At the Sakafia Islamic Senior High School, students continue to trickle in for enrollment. With the expansion of school facilities, the number of enrollment has increased. Headmaster Mohammed Shahid believes improving infrastructure will help improve education in the Zongo communities.
With regard to food infrastructure, so far we have not having any challenges. In fact, food is still coming. Food is still coming. You know, the first 30 years I finished their quarter. The first quarter they've gone, and we never had any food challenge.
That's the Nanaya Ojima's report from the Ashanti region. Let's gauge the situation in the Oti region. And government has expressed concerns about slow pace of work on some senior high school projects, warning drastic actions will be taken against contractors. Correspondent Peter Seno reports.
So some very drastic decisions will be taken to ensure that it is completed. We are only interested in the completion and not necessarily who does it.
That was the Deputy Education Minister, Reverend John Intimfojo, obviously not satisfied about the progress of work on the office complex for the Oti Regional Education Directorate at Jasikan. The contractor was not on site in person to answer questions, and there was no serious sign of work in progress. But for the delay in completing this project, the Oti Regional Education Directorate should be occupying this facility since October 2020. The Regional Directorate has since been occupying a 6-unit intervention classroom facility for students at the Bueman Senior High School at Jasikan. This was to augment the infrastructural deficit for the free SHS program in the school. The sword was cut for the construction of the Regional Directorate in February 2020 when the sitting president Akufo-Addo toured the region. Sama Construction Engineering Limited was scheduled to complete the project within 8 months. The progress of work as of April 2022 is at 30%. This the Deputy Minister is not enthused about.
So far, as you can see, the project is not even up to 40% completion. The others that were awarded around the same time have been completed and handed over. Funds have been made available, but contractor has not been forthcoming. And this is not a development that we are pleased with.
We head to the central region now and join Richard Kojo Nyako. He's been monitoring the admission process there as well as the infrastructural projects. He joins us. Richard, how has it been? What have you observed so far?
Also, my observation has pointed to the fact that if you go to schools like Infantifem, Wesley Girls, and Augustine's College and other top schools in the region, they have outsourced the registration process. So the schools are not crowded like they used to be. So the parent would have to sit behind the computers and then register. So by the time they get to the school, everything has been sorted out. So that wahala has been scrubbed off. But they also complain of infrastructure deficit, the fact that some of the projects are not ready to accommodate the huge numbers that they have been given. Other school authorities are also complaining of what they call dumping, the fact that students that were not placed and got aggregate 50, 52, and 53, they have brought all of them there. They say that when it becomes like that, teachers find it very difficult. At the end of the day, when they do not pass, the schools are blamed for non-performance. And so these are the issues that are arising out of the admission process.
That's our Central Regional correspondent, Richard Kojonyako. And from there, we're back to the capital. Manuel Cranting has been visiting some schools back here. He joins us on the line. Manuel, what can you report?
So, Emefa, with our visit to the schools, and we're currently at the Accra Girls Senior High School. And indeed, our observation is that the process has really been smooth. There's a replication of what's happening in the Cape Coast schools here in Accra also. So there's an online platform where parents are directed to pre-register before they get to the schools. And so when they get here, it's just a matter of validating their documents, and then they are given access, their kids are given access into the schools.
Oh, process need the normal. Normal my but near no prices and now cost. We get this kind of here, best uncle Fias uncle first can be a son of a count. Answer what to me after your man our requesting. Oh, I have no more requested suitcase, blankets, money, buckets, money, the marketing could be a dozen. Okay. The dozen. Oh, no man didn't care, and I'm saying, no man didn't care, no man, no price and never market now. Okay. And I'm my parents and your watcher.
That's Manuel Cranting there interacting with a parent. Largely, we are told, or we can report of a smooth exercise across the various senior high schools. But I'll stay a while longer on education because we want to place TVET in Ghana at the pedestal of the world. That's according to the Deputy Education Minister in charge of technical and vocational education and training, Gifty Chumampofo. Her comments follow President Akufo-Addo's promise during his State of the Nation address to upgrade technical and vocational schools across the country. According to the President, 34 existing vocational and technical institutes have been refurbished to equip students with the requisite skills they need to thrive in the modern economy. Commenting on plans to achieve higher standards, the minister says a number of reforms are being rolled out to modernize TVET. We can hear from Gifty Chumampofo.
When we come to the second cycle, that is the technical schools which were previously under the Ghana Education Service. Let me say this. Now we have per the Education Regulators Act and the Pre-Tertiary Act, Act 1049, we now have TVET Service, Ghana TVET Service, headed by its own Director General. So they are taking charge of all the technical vocational second cycle institutes in the country. All that we're trying to do is we want to place TVET in Ghana at the pedestal of the world. And we've also registered as being the 81st member of World Skills International. So whatever we do in TVET, we're not benchmarking with Ghana or even Africa. We're benchmarking with the world. So
that's Gifty Chumampofo, Deputy Minister in charge of TVET. They're speaking to Blizzard Suga on the pulse. This is the Midday News. We are live on Joy 99.7 FM in Accra. In Kumasi, it's on Love 99.5 FM, Radio Wa in Wa, Dreams FM in Bolgatanga, Radio Max in Takrade, and Menuveve FM in Aflao, and also live on myjoyonline.com. We're streaming live on Facebook as well. We've been talking about that storm that has been detected by the Meteorological Agency heading for the country with strong winds likely to have damaging effect on weak buildings and loose tree branches. You ought to stay safe. When we return, we have sports, and then also Burkina Faso's ex-president Blaise Compaoré sentenced to life in prison over Thomas Sankara's murder. I have details of that. And police Aba hitmaker Nana Nsia PSA passes on. Police Aba
what brings you to my house this early morning? I hope all is well.
All is never well with me, Nick Bakbo. After paying 3 times for the land for my project, the construction workers are now giving me wahala. From material overestimation to small stealing. I am tired.
I told you so, Efokoku.
It's all because you are trying to become builders when you're corporate workers and business people. Edlum has products tailored to meet your needs. Villas 3 at Amrahia, where there are finished homes. Conveniente, also at Amrahia, where it's contemporary but super affordable apartments. Prices start from $35,000. And the Avant-Garde, located in Adjurigano, which has sleek luxury apartments. For more information, please visit edlumhousing.com or simply call 0 0270-166-166. Edlom Housing, where spacious homes cost less.
Thanks for choosing us. We are your home of independent, fearless, and credible journalism. It's the Midday News. It's time for sports. Mufta, what do we have?
We have assistant coach of the Black Stars, George Broughton. He has been speaking about the Ghana Football Association. He says that they should consider getting players who are eligible to switch nationality and play for the senior national team so they can help the Black Stars improve at the FIFA World Cup.
Manage to get some of the players that are eligible to play for the national team on board to make the competition stronger and then give ourselves, Ghana, a better platform, a better team to go to the World Cup and try, I'm using the word try because I'm careful, try to make an amends. At the moment, everybody's well aware that there are some outstanding players playing in Europe that are capable to play for Ghana, who are eligible to play for Ghana. And I think it's down to the FA, whether to be us once more or the new technical team, to try their hardest to get those players on board. It will help Ghana a lot going forward.
It will help Ghana a lot. He personally did not switch nationality to play for the Black Stars, but he wants others to consider playing for the senior national team.
Well, we'll take his advice. Thank you very much, Muftau. It's time for fact-checking, and today we put the spotlight on claims made by the Chief Executive of the National Youth Authority, Pius Hajide, on unemployment, which is one of the biggest problems facing young people in the country. The NYA CEO, who appeared on Upfront, touted the achievement of government in youth development, education, and job creation. Well, head of our research desk, Raymond Akwa, joins me in studio with the claims and the verdict. Raymond, let's start with his claim on the enrollment successes of free SHS.
The inaugural year of the free SHS between 2016 and 2017, in nominal terms, over 48,000 young people, almost 50,000.
What's the verdict?
This is mostly true. According to Education Sector report, some 53,976 more students were enrolled between 2016 and 2017. In fact, the number of people who were placed but did not enroll reduced from within 48,883 from the same period of 2016 to 2017.
Well, let's focus on his claim on youth unemployment.
Youth unemployment is about 12.6%.
The verdict?
This is false. The NYCEO's claim on youth unemployment is false. The Economic Activity Report from the 2021 census, which is our latest employment survey, puts the figure for youth unemployment, as in those who did the youth bracket of 1535, at 19.7%.
Raymond Akwa, head of our research desk, you stay with me, but know that he brings us fact-checking together with the team. Whatever you say, it will be fact-checked. Well, let's head to your days of international politics, and today we have something coming up. A military tribunal in Burkina Faso has sentenced former President Blaise Compaoré to life imprisonment for complicity in the 1987 murder of his predecessor Thomas Sankara in a coup. I'm sure you have details of that.
Yes, I mean, we understand that charismatic revolutionary Sankara was gunned down in the capital of Ouagadougou at age 37, 4 years after he took power in the previous engagement that removed the government. Now, Compaoré was charged in absentia, along with his former head of security, Kafando, who was also sentenced to life imprisonment. Both have previously denied any involvement in Sankara's death, along with 12 other defendants accused of their involvement in this plot. Now, we know that 3 of them were declared innocent on Wednesday, and Compaoré went on to rule for 27 years before being ousted in another coup. And in 2014, that's when this coup happened. So he left to Ivory Coast, where he's still believed to be residing as we speak today.
Well, thank you very much for the details there, Raymond Akwa. It's time for Showbiz News Flash with Kofi Efford.
He had an accident on Monday and passed on. It is so painful. This is a national tragedy, and all must support in sending him off to his maker.
Well, I guess I missed Kofi Hayford with News Flash, but rather we've been talking about the passing of Nana Insia PSA, the police Aba hitmaker. He's passed on. We've been hearing from his brother. I'm sure you remember that song, Police Aba. That's how we wrap up today's edition of the Midday News. We are live on Joy 99.7 FM. There's more news when you log on to myjoyonline.com. I am Emefa Apawu. Many thanks for your company. Living Word with Pastor Mensa Otabil is up next after this.